Dear Diary, this month duty called me to embark on yet another covert assignment, and as you and I exchange words, I can't help but pour out the emotions that this mission stirred within me. It laid bare before me the very entities that evoke an intense and visceral hatred within my core, the KKK and Nazis. In my heart, they rank as low as maggots, symbols of all that is despicable and deplorable in this world.
To your post! Lie still!
The mission, while flying over the Ayahuasca forest, took a dire turn when our plane, delivering vital information to the Allied forces, fell prey to the Nazis' anti-aircraft weapon. My escort for the mission, Lieutenant Fleming, entrusted me with the crucial information as he lays dying. I understood what needed to be done. I was quickly captured by the once uncontacted tribe now known as the Shadow People. I fought and knocked out one of my captors and made for the jungle, where I hid the documents before finding a secluded spot and laying low for a few hours before being recaptured. After hours of torture, the Nazi commander tells me that unless I tell him where I hid the plans, he will straight up burn me alive. My response?
So what?
I am Lois freaking Lane. I have been down this road before with another Japanese commander. The KKK Nazi had convinced the poor innocent Shadow People that he was some type of god, so they were doing his bidding.
I suppose Miss Lane's plane has reached the convoy by this time, hasn't it?
Clark was under the assumption that we were just covering the war as always. The plan was for all of us to meet a convoy at a later time. My mission was to fly ahead with Lieutenant Fleming, our recently fallen soldier. The ceremony for my immolation had begun, and the drumming tempo was increasing by the minute.
I warn you, Fräulein, unless you talk, I will make no effort to interfere with these natives.
Oh, cut the comic opera stuff.
Once the ayahuasca trees and plants started burning, I began losing some of my senses, including all types of fear. The Shadow People had turned into caricatures, and the world had turned red.
Even now, if you tell me the location of the papers, I can...
The Nazi officer reveled in sadistic glee as the tribesmen unwittingly unearthed the hidden information. All hope seemed lost as the flames rose around me, threatening to consume the last thread of resistance. I was in a world of nightmarish images, consumed by fire, and madness started setting in. It was all light, and shadow to me. A surreal trip of the mind.
Looks like they're having a party down there.
And us not invited. How do you like that? What's that?
Unbeknownst to me, Clark noticed our downed plane while flying to our rendezvous point, and parachuted down to the plane's location, searching for us through the debris. At least that is what I was later told by Clark. In my dream state, I found myself in a waltz dance with Superman while bathing in a sea of fire. Finally, he swept me up and we both walked out the fire unscathed. The Shadow People froze in terror at the sight of a flying man walking through fire, pulling me out unharmed, and they wanted no part of the Man of Steel.
Lois!
The Nazis activated an anti-aircraft weapon to attack Superman. However, the Man of Steel proved indomitable, withstanding the assault and destroyed their weapon. it was a sight to behold. And the joy I felt watching Superman tear through a wave of Nazis was both empowering and liberating. Did I mention that I hated Nazis? I hate Nazis. A cascade of events unfolded. The Nazis were able to deploy U-boats to attack the Allied convoy.
Come in, base 3X. Come in,
Schlacht alles und raut mit euch! You...
Come in, base 3X. Come in, base 3X.
Thanks to Superman, I was able to finish my mission, coordinate and warn the Allies, also give enough time for a squadron of B-52 bombers to wipe out the Nazi fleet.
Torpedoes 1 and 2 ready, Herr Kommandant.
In the end, the Nazis were handed a swift and embarrassing defeat. I am proud to have played a hand in destroying the evil mustached bastards' fleet.
The War Department goes on to say that during this action, an entire fleet of Axis submarines was destroyed by American dive bombers, affording the troop ships a safe crossing.
For the mighty mission, praise the Lord, and pass
Mission
the
accomplished.
and we'll all be...
Let's close with the story of female spies whose heroic achievements, courage, and strength outshine James Bond. This sisterhood of spies are a remarkable collection of women who have completed some of the most daring missions in history, using everything in their power to gain information and risking it all for a cause they believed in. They include Mata Hari, Harriet Tubman, the iconic singer and dancer Josephine Baker, the actress Marlene Dietrich, and Virginia Hall, just to name a few. Of the many women who served in the OSS, Field Agent Virginia Hall was one of the most distinguished. Undaunted by her artificial leg, she created a spy network and helped organize and arm French commandos behind enemy lines. Posing as a dairy farmer, she scouted potential drop zones while herding cows. Later, she tapped out Morse code messages over wireless radio to officials in London. She radioed intelligence reports, coordinated parachute drops of supplies, oversaw sabotage missions, and planned ambushes of German soldiers. Virginia Hall was the only female civilian in World War II to receive the coveted Distinguished Service Cross. After the war, Hall became one of the CIA's first female operations officers. These women were in a league of their own. I hope to join them someday. Until then, yours, Lois Lane.